You are watching Morning Musings with Reinhard von Hennings, chairman and founder of Bridge House Law in Charlotte, North Carolina.
Do you like chicken nuggets? Hello, this is Reinhard von Hennings. In a significant legal battle, a jury awarded this week $800,000 in damages to a young girl who suffered severe burns while eating or while trying to eat at McDonald's. Well, more precisely, in the car of the mother when a Chicken McNugget fell on her leg while the mother was driving away from a McDonald's drive-thru. The case of Olivia Caraballo versus McDonald's USA and the franchise operator Upchurch Foods highlights the importance of liability and consumer safety within the fast food industry. Let's talk about the incident. It occurred in 2019 when Olivia was 4 years old, and it resulted in her sustaining a second-degree burn. She has now a lasting scar on her inner thigh. The jury's verdict is significantly lower than the $15 million thought by the plaintiff's lawyers, and the jury allocated $400,000 for past 4 years of damages and an equal amount of $400,000 for future damages. Olivia's mother, Philan Holmes, expressed her satisfaction with the jury's decision. She was pleased, that's what she said, that her daughter's voice was heard and that a fair judgment was reached. For me, this verdict raises a few important questions about global businesses, about business operators, and implications of those cases for the enterprises you operate. Comparing this lawsuit to similar cases, we all may think immediately of the infamous hot coffee lawsuit. Remember, in the 1990s, when the McDonald's lawsuit was filed by Stella Liebeck, the case was initially dismissed, and Stella Liebeck initially claimed only $20,000 to cover her medical expenses for her third-degree burns. So this case was initially not seen serious. However, the jury came back with a significant verdict, which was later reduced by the judge to $480,000 and later again settled at an undisclosed amount of money. There's also this 2019 lawsuit involving a teenager who was hurt and scalded by hot water at McDonald's in an Oregon restaurant. And it raised again concerns about the safety within the fast food industry. Throughout the recent McDonald's Chicken McNugget lawsuit, the argument for McDonald's was that all they did was they followed safety protocol, arguing it's the responsibility of the customer what happens afterwards. Imagine you drive away in your car completely out of control of McDonald's. Once the food leaves the drive-thru window, nobody can control what's happening afterwards. So what is your legal strategy? So if you have a scenario where consumers can do whatever they want to do with a product, it boils down to disclaimers, policies, procedures, notifications, that everybody is aware of what's happening around. But by the same token, it's important to understand that hot food means safe food, because salmonella is an ongoing risk in the food industry, especially if it comes down to chicken. This case sheds light on the importance of consumer warning labels and a clear communication. McDonald's claimed they only met safety guidelines. Olivia's mother testified that she was not warned about the so-called unusual hot temperature of the McNuggets. As global business owners and operators, we may think about what are our strategies to communicate and how can this be effectively conveyed. During trial, the mother spoke, and Holmes testified that she had purchased a Happy Meal for her son and the daughter. Both of them were sitting in the back seat of the car. She drove away, and then it happened. The Chicken McNugget piece fell on the child's leg, causing her to scream in pain. She pulled over in a nearby parking lot. Nobody knows how much time had passed. At least that's not public record, as to my knowledge. So the chicken nugget was wedged between Olivia's thigh and the seat belt, so therefore creating extra pain and pressure points. During her testimony, the mother emphasized that McDonald's had not given her the warning about that the food is really hot, that it is unusually hot. McDonald's defended the position by stating that especially salmonella contamination requires a certain temperature. They argued that the temperature is needed in order to make it safe. The argument boiled not down to the question whether the little girl was hurt. This was all agreed. However, the question is, what was the temperature? The mother said it was over 200 degrees Fahrenheit, which is approximately 93 degrees Celsius, while the defense argued, based on their internal protocols, it was not more than 160 degrees, which is 71 degrees Celsius. There's evidence, pictures taken by the mother immediately after the burn, as well as an audio clip showing and giving us a chance to listen to the distressed screams of the child. I'm curious, as a father myself, would I try to record my child's injury instead of helping the child? But this is a question maybe for another musing. So those were presented in court, both the audio recording as well as the pictures. So what was the temperature? We never know. Would the child scream out when she got hit with 160 degrees Fahrenheit chicken? Probably yes. However, for global entrepreneurs, business owners, business leaders, CEOs of companies, the verdict is a wake-up call. Prioritize consumer safety. You need to implement a strict protocol where measures are done, where temperature is taken, and create a risk assessment regarding the communication so that potential hazards are mitigated. I always say when I'm asked, it's not about the wrong product in a product liability claim. It's very often these days down to a wrong labeling, a missed labeling, or an incomplete labeling. Can you imagine a labeling sign somewhere in the drive-thru, maybe even printed on the bag, a hanging sign over the drive-thru, or a big sign next to the trash can when you leave the drive-thru, warning, food may be over 160 degrees warm and may cause a burn. How would a jury decide it if such clear language would have been in sight of the customer? This lawsuit talks about safety. It talks about safety for the consumer. But it also has, beyond the financial consequences, the question of what is the impact on the company's reputation? What is the public perception of a company? Do we now think it's not safe to go to McDonald's? Or do we think pretty cool that they're trying to fight salmonella within the restaurant by making the food extra hot? Well, at the end, it boils down to what the customers see. Is it really a commitment to the well-being of the customers? So let's ask yourself, how can you ensure in your operation that you go above and beyond to prioritize customer safety? How can you mitigate potential risks by maintaining, by the same time, the high standards of the product quality, the salmonella freeness, so to say, and your service? How will you implement those lessons learned? How will you create a safe and trustworthy brand? Do you create more warning labels?
Thank you for joining us today. If you would like more information about Bridge House Law, please visit our website at bridgehouse.law. Before you go, make sure to like this video and subscribe to the channel for more up-to-date content. Bridge House Law. Business-minded, client-focused.